Welcome back, everyone, to your podcast, our podcast, the Popular Side podcast. As always, that's Mr. Inka Yusuf.
Hello, people. How are we doing?
And I'm Akin Adeke. Inka, happy Sunday. We are back on a Sunday recording. Yay for us. You owe me though. You took everything from me to be here today. So I need to be compensated for my grit and determination. You know?
It's one of those days.
One of those days.
Those days.
I think I was telling you this weekend my friend Spencer was celebrating his 50th. So someone I've known since I was fresh off the boat in this country, 27 years ago. Met him on day one. We lived together for 1 year. Yeah, so it was fun. So that's what I was doing all weekend. So it was fun. It was a mini reunion for friends from uni.
I can imagine. So take that as compensation. Don't ask anything from me.
Oh my god, you were terrible. How was your weekend, brother?
Weekend was busy, very busy. Very busy. I need to clear my desk because as usual, I'm on the road again. So
on the road again.
As it were. Yeah. So next weekend you'll be seeing a different background. I'm giving everybody advance notice already, right?
We'll be happy if we actually see it back. So the fact that you'll be able to do it on the road works for me. I don't want to do it solo.
Maybe for the next 3 weeks, you won't be seeing this particular background, but it's all good.
But don't cry for him. It will be doing fun and impactful stuff. So
yeah. I believe so. Fingers crossed. Anyway, as we're celebrating someone's birthday, we also had a bereavement in our community, if I can put it that way. Yeah.
Yes.
So we lost a childhood friend. We went to secondary school together. Commander Shegun Ibidoja. I kind of lost touch with him after we left school, frankly. Yeah. And it was when the WhatsApp group, came to life that I kind of, caught up with him, quote unquote. Yeah, it's a sad situation. But hey, it is what it is. I'm still shocked, frankly, with the whole. Yeah. There's a story, which I'm not going to go into, but it's a pretty sad situation, right? Okay.
Yeah, very very well said, Inka. So Shegun was a commander in the Nigerian Navy. From all indication, a man of amazing grit, kindness, that always resonates with me, so if I think about, again, we left school 29 years ago, believe it or not, 29 and a half.
Yeah.
But there's some things you always remember how people make you feel, in your interactions with them. We take things like, the description gentleman, we take that for granted, but he really was a gentleman.
He was.
Kind, even when he's ribbing you, it's still in kindness. And you can kind of tell what kind of person someone is by the groups of friends that surround him. It's the rare person that is able to connect different groups of people together in a larger group, if that makes sense. So that's who he was. Unassuming, kind, gentle, and accomplished. So may he rest in peace.
Amen.
May his family have the fortitude they would need to carry the loss.
Yeah.
So I hate this, but here we are.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. And like you said, well said, Aki. Gentle smile, babyish smile, right? I'm serious. You look at him, he looks unassuming. Even while we were in school, remember then he was in martial arts and the rest of it.
Yeah. And he continued apparently.
He continued. He continued to do it, and anyway, may his soul rest in peace, man. Yeah. Amen. Yes, sir.
All right. There's never a good way to transition from the deep and impactful to the mundane. But we shall try.
We'll try.
So, Yinka, let's start as we typically do with the week that was.
Yes, sir.
So we're just, the week started with midweek games. This is December. Weird things happen. In this past week, there were actually games in the EPL at least for 3 different days: Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Yeah.
There's a lot to talk about, but we will not start in the EPL. So, Yinka, let's look over the past week and just talk first about Ligue and see if there's anything interesting that happened there.
Nothing interesting. The top 2 guys won. PSG back to regular schedule. They beat Rennes 5-0, I believe. Then also Lens, who took over number 1 position on the table last week, they also won away to Nantes. So surprisingly, Marseille lost away. I watched some bit of that match actually. They didn't deserve to lose that match, but unfortunately they lost. I saw Mason Greenwood do some exciting stuff, but after most of the exciting stuff, his final decision let him down. Instead of passing, he will shoot. Where he's supposed to shoot, he will pass. It was a crazy game for Marseille, but Marseille lost. So the table, as it is right now, is just the way it was last week. Lens 34, PSG 33, Marseille 29, Lille 29. That's what the table looks like right now.
Okay. Aubameyang has the worst luck. He really does. In this life, you got to be lucky. He's a star-crossed player. Almost reminds me of Michael Ballack. No one was as bad as Michael Ballack in terms of luck, but Aubameyang in the modern day is pretty close. It's pretty close.
He is.
Yeah. So we'll leave it at that. Yinka, let's talk about the Bundesliga.
So in the Bundesliga, it's usual service has now resumed. Bayern won away to Stuttgart. I think it was a convincing win. They won 5-0 away to Stuttgart. And the challengers, if I can put them that way, Dortmund won and Bayer Leverkusen lost away to Augsburg. So like we said, it's just a matter of time, right? Sooner than later. Bayern will be crowned champions. They're on 37 points with plus 40 goal difference. Leipzig is number 2 with 29 plus with plus 15 goal difference, right? So we can as well round that up to 9 points difference because that goal difference itself is 1 extra point. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's 9 points, 13 games into the season. They go on their Christmas break. I'm not sure if they have a game next weekend.
Soon.
Pretty soon.
I think they play one more round
before they go on Christmas break.
2-ish weeks.
But it's a matter of time. Bayern are champions. Nah, I don't think anybody can catch up with them.
All right, let's do the Italian league, Serie.
So Serie is still the interesting one. I was watching a game earlier on. It was between Napoli and Juventus. Napoli were leading 1-0. The game eventually ended 2-1. Yeah.
2-1 Napoli?
2-1 Napoli. Guess who got both goals? Rasmus Højlund.
For Napoli? Højlund. Yep. Wow. I haven't heard that name in a while because I haven't watched Napoli since maybe game week 3 or 4.
Yeah. So, like I said, Serie is just like a merry-go-round at this point. Milan are playing tomorrow. Milan have a game in hand. If Milan probably win that game, they go back to top of the table. Roma lost today earlier on. Inter won. So right now, Napoli is on 31 points, Inter on 30, AC Milan on 28, and Roma on 27. But Milan have a game in hand.
Okay. Quick. Let's go to La Liga.
Yes,
There's a game going on right now.
There's a game going on right now.
Real Madrid, are they home? Or
they are home to Celta Vigo, and they are down 1-0. And they just got, one of their players just got sent off. Their left back just got sent off. Yeah.
And how many minutes to go in that game?
It is like 5 minutes left or thereabout. Right?
Okay.
Let's
see what the referees can cook up.
One of the commentators said something that amazed me. He said, what's his name? Vinny Jr. has not scored a goal in 10 games.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
It is crazy. So if you look at it, like I said last week, they're not conceding as many goals as Barcelona, but their offense is, Mbappe alone is not, he's scoring goals. He'll probably get 40 at the end of this season. And they have quite a number of players injured, right? Hoyson is injured. What's his name? Trent is injured, But you should be beating South Africa.
Is Rudiger back?
Rudiger is back. He's back.
Okay.
But he needs. You need to get some playing time under your belt to get back to your best. Yeah.
I would.
And that's the issue with injuries. Injury is not just a physical thing; it's also a mental thing. Because I played not at this level, but for me, what typically happens is when you're injured, you don't trust your body yet. So mentally, you can't even push yourself to 100% because you don't want the injury to reoccur, right? So if it's a hamstring if you're sprinting, you're not sprinting 100%. You're sprinting 50, 60%. It will take a while for you to trust your body, right? And if you're unlucky during that process, you might just hurt yourself again. That trust goes back to zero. That's what it is. So it takes a while for people to get back to their best after any form of injury. So I guess that's what's going on with Rudiger. But yeah, Rudiger is back. Rudiger is back.
All right. Well, Barcelona played yesterday, I believe.
Yeah, Barca played yesterday. They played Betis. They won. Is it 3-5 or so, or 5-3? Yeah. So it's looking like a basketball match at this point. But kudos to Barca, right? It was more or less 5-1 because the last 2 goals came after So Ferran Torres scored a hat trick. This is someone that
is that a first in his career?
No, Ferran Torres will probably have scored plenty hat tricks in his life.
I don't know about plenty, but okay. Go on.
No. So he was at Valencia before he came to City, and while he was at Valencia, I wanted to believe he would have scored hat tricks. Yeah, frankly, because he started proving he became a Spanish international while at Valencia, not when he went to City. Things just didn't work out for him at City, but he scored a hat trick. It's just Barca. The goals are just coming in left, right, and center, right? So Barcelona on both sides. So Barca, they've scored 47 goals already, and they've conceded 20. Yeah, Real Madrid on the other side have scored 32. Barca last 5, they won 5. Same thing with Villarreal. Villarreal has won their last 5 games. But as it stands, Real Madrid, they've won 2 out of 5. They've drawn 3. This one right now is going to be a loss for them, right? So the informed team is definitely Barca and Villarreal. Atletico Madrid, they've lost 2 on the row. Atletico Madrid lost this weekend again. So you see what I'm saying about Madrid. Atletico, that is. They are very, very inconsistent also. Yeah, always been. And it's because I don't think the team, Simeone is putting together a team that doesn't necessarily match his identity. I think that's the way I see it. Yeah. And if you look at the lineup he played, he's just chopping and mixing all over the place. And it burnt him. They went to Atletico Bilbao. Atletico Bilbao beat them 1-0. So as it stands right now, let's assume Real Madrid lose this game. That means they will go 4 points ahead of, they'll go 4 points behind Barcelona. So Barcelona will be on 40 points. And if I'm looking at the goal difference also, I might as well say that's an extra point. So let's say they're 5 points ahead of.
Right now, the head-to-head favors Madrid, and that's the first tiebreaker.
So I keep
not all bad.
I keep mixing this thing up. So you're saying in La Liga, it's still head-to-head.
Yeah, the first tiebreaker is head-to-head.
Okay.
Yeah,
all
the
right.
first one. So
all right, we'll keep that.
It's not all bad.
Keep that in mind.
It's not all bad.
We'll keep that in mind. We'll keep that in mind. So that's what happened in La Liga. They had midweek games also, but Barca won their game. Madrid also won their game midweek. Madrid were away to Athletic Bilbao. They won 3-0. And I think it was on Tuesday or so. Barca I think they were home to Atletico Madrid. Yeah. Barca actually played Atletico Madrid last week. Which they scored first, Atletico Madrid. Then the Barca goal machine took over. Rafinha, who I think that was his first game back. Rafinha scored.
It was out a while.
It was out for a while. Daniel almost scored also. Then he got injured. And he was then taken off. Yeah. But yeah, good game actually. This Barca Madrid game. I saw that game. It was a good game. It was end to end. It was quite open, surprisingly for a Simeone match, But I guess the man is evolving. If you can't beat them,
no, it's not.
If you can't beat them, join them. I believe. Yeah.
No, for him it's just random. Like he thinks. How do I put this? You will get games like that from him. You will get games like losing 4-0 in London to Arsenal from him. You get games like the last Champions League match where, they scored with the virtual last, action of the game, the header.
Yeah.
They're just, I feel like they're losing their identity. I don't know if it's a matter of recruiting and you can't recruit to suit the plans that your coach has. I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah.
But things are very all over the place for him. It's like he can no longer just impose his will on anything or anyone in his orbit, his players, opposing coaches, opposing teams.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's happening. I don't think he can change. I don't think he's changing. I think things around him are changing.
Interesting. Anyway, so that's La Liga. Okay. Let's go on to the EPL.
Okay, so in the EPL, let's try and do it kind of in sequence. So we talk about the midweek games first. And just a quick one, let's highlight Liverpool. So what happened to Liverpool in their midweek game? I believe they played on Wednesday.
Yeah, they played Sunderland midweek, and then they played Leeds yesterday. Okay, the Sunderland game, I watched a bit of it. Yeah, but I eventually saw the highlights. Yeah, couple of things. We talked about Van Dijk and the Cliff last week, I believe.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. If whatever we said last week, anybody doubted it, please don't doubt it anymore. It is absolutely spot on. The goal that Sunderland scored, he gave the ball away meaninglessly. I don't know whether he was trying to pass. I don't know what he was doing. He gave the ball away. And when Sunderland recovered the ball and it was one-on-one against him, he didn't commit. He was doing the same thing I told you Babayaro used to do. He was turning...
Yeah.
And the guy just said, if that's what you're not gonna come, I'm just gonna shoot. And the guy took the shot, deflected off him, and that was it. Goal. Then Florian Wirtz, Madrid are down 2-0.
Ouch.
Madrid are down 2-0.
A man.
And still down a man. And this is already injury time. So yeah, it's a loss for them.
The referees are not performing up to their KPI.
They're not performing up to their KPI. Maybe this ref is a Barca one. Maybe next time they will get a Madrid one later. So going back to Liverpool,
my gosh.
Florian Wirtz, quick foot, dribbled, went past 2 or 3 players, smacked the ball with his left leg, I believe. When I saw the goal and the ball went in, actually, I posted, I was like, wow, that was a great goal by Wirtz. Only for me to see the replay and realize that it was a deflection. When he took the shot, the ball was actually going out. He actually...
that took me a while to see clearly.
He miscued.
I think it was only on the third try that I saw it, because I thought it was going in. I thought it was going in before the deflection. I saw the deflection, but I thought it was for sure going in before the deflection.
Nah. It was going out, right? So Liverpool right now, if I look at the table, Liverpool are languishing in 9th, goal difference of 0, and they're on 23 points. Yeah. So you have always said Liverpool are still in the title race. Or no, let me rephrase that. I've always said that Liverpool are still in the title race. Now, we're almost halfway through the season. This is 15 out of 38 games.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think they have it in them to still mount a top 4 challenge?
They're 9th?
Yes.
How far off top are they right now?
In terms of points?
Yes.
They're just 3 points off 4th position.
No, but off first.
Off first, so that will be 10 points.
Yeah, absolutely. So now, don't get me wrong. They have a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, here's what I would tell you. And we will talk about Aston Villa in a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Aston Villa started the season winless in their first 5.
Yes.
Morgan Rogers, who I really love that kid. You know, my feelings towards him are similar to what I have towards Morgan Gibbs White. They're not the same player, you know, but I'm like, you can anchor a mid-table / you know, 4th to 6th place team attack around the player like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's still young, you know, he's much younger than Morgan Gibbs White and will still get better, right? So I'm a big fan of this kid. But people were booing and talking junk about, you know, Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted the manager fired, right? And they were just, all of a sudden, everyone hates McGinn, right? I'm like, oh, where have you been? You know, I've been talking about this dude. So, and now they've won 9 out of 10, Yinka. 9 out of 10 is what, I don't know if the 10th was a draw or a win, but that's at least 27 points out of, you know, a possible 30. If you go on that kind of run, yeah, easy, depending on how the fixtures shake out. Are you playing any 6-pointers? You know, so for me, I think we have to play at least 10 more games before I get off this Liverpool bandwagon. I think we've played, 15 now? If we get to 25 or even 22, and I can, you know, what, a third would be what? Yeah, a third would be roughly 25 games, right? I'd be like, okay, all right. They've played 2/3 of the season.
Yeah.
They're 10 points of, you know, 10 points from that point on will be hard to make up. So that's my, I think yes, they should still be considered contenders.
Yeah. So well said. I think it's the same line of thought that I also had, and in fact, the Villa example is the perfect one, right? The only problem that I sense is that there's mutiny going on currently.
Yes. Yeah? And they're not being honest about it.
And they're not being honest,
open about it.
But Salah blew the locks off the door, right? After the game yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to quote him because I actually put it here. So he said, after what I've done for the club, and his English is not perfect, but you get the gist of what it is. After what I've done for the club, it really hurts. You can imagine, really. After going home to the club and you don't know if you're starting, I know the club too well. I've been here many years. Tomorrow, Jamie Carragher is going to go for me again and again and that's fine. So he's saying Jamie Carragher is going to go for me again and again, and that's fine. So he's already saying, Jamie, you keep saying I am the problem. I've seen several times where you said I'm the problem. I don't know who's asking you to say this, but you get the gist. I've been at this club scoring more than anyone in this generation since I came to the Premier League. I don't think anyone has scored more goals and made more assists than me in the whole Premier League. If I'm somewhere else, everybody will go to the media and defend the players. I'm the only one in this situation. Can I give an example? It's silly, but I'm sorry. I remember a while ago, Harry Kane was not scoring for 10 games. Everyone in the media was like, oh, Harry will score for sure. When it comes to Mo, when it comes to me, everyone is like, he needs to be on the bench.
Speaking in the third person?
Yeah.
Go on.
When it comes to Mo, everyone is like, he needs to be on the bench. I'm sorry, Harry. He was just saying, I'm sorry, Harry, for using you as an example. Salah is like, I'm not here for this nonsense. I'm not the problem. And I've said this before. I said, based on the style of play, before, on the club, last season and on the club, Salah was the end game. Right now, he's just crumbs. He's like, yeah, if he gets the ball, fine. If he doesn't, no. So it's not really his fault. I don't think it's his fault. It's just that the coach, something is off. Something is off somewhere. And if benching him is good for the team, fingers crossed. I don't know whether that will be the case. Yeah. If benching him, and the Nations Cup is a perfect example for them. So once he's away for the Nations Cup, they don't have that, Salah is on the bench cloud looming over them. And if they then perform well while he's away, what that means, Akin, is when he then comes back, they will have a tough decision to make as to whether or not we need to keep him on the bench, right? Or we need to play him. That's my only concern that I have with Liverpool. That's my concern.
Yinka, I think, okay, how do I say this? So I think both of us were generally thinking something needed to be done, right? Something needed to be done at Liverpool. Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of truth in what Mo Salah says, but I also think in this situation, two things can be true that don't seem to have much to do with each other, right? So when I think about it, I'm like, Mo Salah, you have to carry a passenger when he's in your starting 11. In the modern game, that is very hard to do. So someone has to carry his water, someone, and that's hard to do. And then they now went and bought another player who doesn't carry his own water.
Yeah.
Right? That's the problem. So you have a choice. Last year, you gave Mo Salah a massive giant contract. Do you think about that? Or do you think about the massive giant signing fee or whatever that you paid for Wirtz? Which one rules the day? It took them a while, but they finally chose Wirtz. This was a choice. Mo Salah will be sold. He's not going to retire, and I don't think he's necessarily going to Saudi. Yeah. But I think he's going to be sold. But it's also true that he hasn't been playing well. It's also true that something's off. We might be talking about a cliff situation as well, Yinka.
No.
We might be.
Let me cut you short there.
Okay,
I don't think anything has happened to Salah individually. I think it's a style of play. I know I said this, which is what I repeated earlier on. They are not playing the way they used to play. In the sense that Salah is, like I said, is the end game. You get the ball, find a way to get the ball to Salah. That was Liverpool's MO. But these days, hell no. You want to play through the middle. You want to, Szoboszlai. They didn't have a midfield before. We always say this. It's just get the ball over. Just get it to Salah. Yeah. But now everybody wants to play in the middle. They want to get the ball to Gakpo. They want Wirtz to fill the ball. That's part of the thing that is feeding his not playing well, right? So yes, like you say, two things can be true at the same time. He's not playing well, but it is not a Salah issue. I don't think it's a cliff situation. I just think the team is not playing to his strength. That's what I think. But go ahead.
So those are the both things that could be true. It could be, and one may be feeding into the other. Yeah. Right? So are they not playing into his strengths because he's lost a step? You know what I mean? So, right. Or does it look like he's lost a step because they're not playing to his strength? You may be right. It may be that, hey, maybe he needs extra TLC, right? Because at a certain age, you might need someone to cut your meat for you, so to speak.
Yeah.
So maybe you're not the hunter gatherer that you used to be, but you can still chew on some meat though. If they cut it perfectly for you. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what's happening here. And because it's shunted off to the right, if they don't, but you're right, if they don't feed him, he can be forgotten. He can no longer go hunt. He can no longer go hunt for. He doesn't have the legs, and he never was a tracking back kind of winger anyway. But I joke a little bit about this, but I don't think you reach the heights that he reached last year, where we both thought it was a legit Ballon d'Or candidate.
Yeah.
And if he had won, we wouldn't have had any problem with it.
None whatsoever.
To go from that to completely anonymous in the first third of the season.
Yeah.
I think that's too much. I think there's some decline, but I think that's too much decline. So maybe it's a mix of both, Inka.
Yes. Okay. So let's move on from Liverpool. Before we go into City and Arsenal, let's talk about Villa. Yeah. You started off well. I think this is a good segue. You mentioned that they started off the season like 0 out of 5 in terms of wins, and they didn't even score in like 4 games. Mm-hmm. I think this is Villa's 7th win in a row right now. And
9th out of 10 games.
And 9 out of 10 games. Right. The only game they lost was Liverpool. They lost to Liverpool, I think, at Anfield. That was the game where we thought, Liverpool was back and everything. Yeah. But yeah, Villa, and most of these games they've been close games. So imagine Villa at home to Wolves, they only won 1-0. Away to Brighton during the midweek, they won 4-3. Then the Arsenal game, they won 2-1. Now, when they say luck, everything seems to be going well for you, right? Yeah. That's exactly what's happening to Villa right now. Because these games, this winning streak that they are on, there are so many games that they probably could have lost. I'm not saying they didn't deserve to win. They probably could have lost. But kudos to them. The Brighton game was a funny one. Brighton scored first, then Villa just banged like 4 goals. Then Brighton came back and scored 2 goals again, and they almost lost it. But in the subsequent game, you could see there was a change in formation. There was a change in lineup. Brighton didn't play with Villa didn't play with wingers against Arsenal, right? So they had McGinn on the left, and they had, what's his name? The other guy. The guy you said you loved. What's his name?
Rogers.
They had Morgan Rogers. On the left, right? And they just put Watkins up top, and what then happened was they didn't hug the byline because the Arsenal fullbacks didn't hug the byline. So the midfield was so congested that the only avenue that they had to go for, which is how they scored the first goal, was the Matthew Cash overlapping and Eze losing his man and Cash scoring. And they had a medley towards the end. But one thing I noticed in that game, both sides were tired.
I did too.
There were passes going astray. There were, the passes were not crisp. People were not running as well as they should.
Yinka, players were carrying the ball and forgetting the ball and then they kept running.
Yeah.
Leaving the ball behind.
It was bizarre.
Yeah.
Watkins didn't finish the game. Cash himself didn't finish the game. So you get what I'm saying? And look at Arsenal. Trossard came on, he scored, and he went off again, right? And I don't want to talk about Arsenal first, but I'll talk about Arsenal later, right? But you could see that everybody was on E, if I could put it that way. They were on reserve. Yeah. And this goes back to what you said about too many games. Yeah, it's too much. It's too much. It is too much.
You got one quick thing about Villa and Emery. So one, kudos to them. 9 out of 10 is very hard. It is. I mean, if they won 6 or 7 and mixed in a few draws here and there, it would still be impressive.
Yeah.
But to outright go out and win games at the highest level is really tough.
Yeah.
But what you described is also the conundrum of an Emery. It could get you going with like a top defense, like he had, Mustafi anchoring his defense, and they went 20 games unbeaten at Arsenal. That happens. But it will also have this weird back and forth games that will end 4-3. It will win more than it loses, but that happens way too often.
Yeah.
Sometimes you scratch your head at who he buys, like Onana in midfield. I mean, I don't hate his game, but it doesn't work for that team.
Yeah, it doesn't do much.
But it's so bizarre. It's so bizarre to me. But I think we've said enough about Villa.
Let's quickly talk about City before we then go to Arsenal, and probably talk about City, then Chelsea, then Arsenal. Yeah.
Then
so City City's won 4 out of 5, and they had a loss. I think that was away to Newcastle, I believe, right? But City is enjoying something right now that other teams are probably didn't enjoy, or when he rotated 11 players against, what was that game again in the Champions League, Aki? What was that game in the Champions League? It was the Leverkusen. Yes, it was the Leverkusen game. The Leverkusen game, when he rested his whole squad, everybody were like, he's enjoying it right now. City looked fresher during this period, right? And like we said, the only player they have injured is, what's his name? Is Rodri, right?
Yeah, that's a big one. Right?
That's a big one, but it's Rodri. And the Fulham game, they almost lost that. They almost threw that away. The Leeds game before that, they almost threw that away. But they convincingly beat Sunderland this weekend. Sunderland has had too many. You can't go away to Liverpool and away to City back to back. This was just bound to happen. Yeah. So I feel for Sunderland. But like I told you, the City. When people say, City, this is Arsenal's league, City don't have anything, I'm like, you guys don't know what you're talking about. City will always remain City. As long as they have that left-legged demon called Haaland, right? Even if he's not scoring, his presence and, his physique is enough headache to bring every other person into play. Once again, it's too early. Right, we are 13 games into the season. Yeah, this league, for me, this is just the league starting. Remember when we started off at the beginning of the season, you said 2 wins and 2 losses. Now I can comfortably tell you that every single team has lost 2 games before December. Comfortably, right? And it's going to be more.
I hear you.
It's going to be more, right? If you see the effort, I pity these players at times. Everybody is playing, they're like, guys, y'all need to chill a bit. You're playing as if this is the last game of the season. There are still games. You won't have anything in the tank when you need to have things in the tank. Yeah? So that City, any comments on City before we move on to Chelsea? Because I have to talk about Chelsea.
So for me, they're still the strongest of the contenders outside of Arsenal. Strong coach. Strength and depth.
Yeah.
Rodri still to come. Chekri now looking decent. There's too much there for them not to be contenders, and Haaland is the biggest of them. Their defense is a problem. They have bodies, but it's not joined up. There's something going on there. But let's go to Chelsea.
Yeah. Good. So world champions Chelsea. After beating Arsenal 1-1.
Oh my god.
After beating Arsenal 1-1 with 10 men. That's the first time I heard that one. Right? When we're growing up, there's a commentator in Kwara State that used to say, now I know him, he's a good uncle to me, so I can't really mock him as much.
You're about to roast him.
But I'll still roast him. I won't mention his name. So. He will say, the scoreline was 1-1 goalless draw.
1-1 goalless draw. Yep.
1-1 goalless draw. So in this case, Chelsea, world champions, beat Arsenal 1-1 with 10 men. Then Maresca, even though everybody wants to crucify him, but I understand why he did what he did. Okay. Maresca was like, this team they are knackered. I can't take the same people to go play Leeds. And he significantly rotated. Yes, he lost the 3 points, but what could have happened is if he didn't rotate, he would have lost bodies. So it is, fans need to kind of understand this. And even coaches need to understand this. Irrespective of who you're playing, you just have to look at a game and say, you know what? I'm just going to rotate. Anything I get out of this, I get. I don't think it's asinine for Maresca to say, I'm going to Leeds and I'm starting Tosin, Adarabioyo, I'm starting Gittins, I'm starting. That lineup should be able to compete against Leeds. That's my point. That lineup should be able to compete against Leeds. So when the whole Chelsea, whatever, are saying fire Maresca, because you lost 3-1 to Leeds, I'm like, what are you talking about? Number one, you're disrespecting Leeds at home. Elland Road is one of the toughest places to go to, right? You thought Anfield was tough. Elland Road, they don't have the capacity of Anfield, but see, this is you throwing. This is a fan. A fan can stretch and knock your head like this and say, stop what you're doing there, right? It is, and it's one of the oldest grounds in football. And this is one of the things that is going for Leeds as a town. They love their football club. When you're looking for the proper definition of the 12th man, it's the Leeds fans. So Leeds at home is a completely different ball game from Leeds away, right? So I can't believe that I'm defending Maresca, but I have to. Yeah, like I'm being objective. I like the fact that they lost, but okay, I'm being objective. I wasn't too angry with the fact that he rotated. But fast forward to, was that yesterday? Or was it today? Yesterday. Chelsea played yesterday, and I think they were home or away, but they drew. The final score was a draw. Hold on, let me check. Chelsea were away to Bournemouth yesterday. Yeah? And this lineup looks like their first lineup. It's the same lineup, almost the same lineup that played Arsenal. The only difference was Cole Palmer joined this team. Yeah? But once again, Bournemouth held, they were resolute and the game ended 0-0. Once again, Chelsea fans completely unhappy. And I'm like, people need to, I don't know, you've said this about fans before, and it still surprises me why people think this way. The stark contrast between when your team loses and when your team wins. It is black and white. It is night and day. There is no middle ground. There is no nuance, no context, nothing. It's just when you win, all the mistakes that the players made, all the issues is plastered and covered by winning. And conversely, when you lose, all the good things that the team did, you don't care. And I'm like, no, you can't be that way. Yeah? You can't be that way. But this is just going to tell Chelsea fans and fans in general that your teams are still going to drop points. Everybody. There's nobody. This is game number 1. Game number, 15. Remind me again, number 15, I believe. 15. Yeah, game number 15, Akin. So if my math is correct, we have 23 games left. Yeah? Correct? Confirm, 23. Because your math is better than mine. Yeah. 23 games, I can guarantee you, right? Nobody will go 23 unbeaten. Nobody.
No, it's not
nobody. Possible. And between now and December, between now and May, I will say it again. At least every team will lose at least 3 games. You can mark my words. It's going to happen.
Right. You're probably right.
So let's stop all this. It's for me, it's nonsense. Yeah. Any comments on Chelsea before we move on to Arsenal?
Yeah, but you know why this is happening. It's social media. So I think what those of us who don't live on social media, who are the adults in the room, need to do is just start ignoring. We have to start ignoring the noise. Like, this is not it's not a real debate. It's not a real conversation. It's clicks, It's just social media clicks, like Arsenal were never as good as everyone made them out to be, and they're definitely not as bad as they're now being made out to be. And the reason I said something last week. I said Arsenal are so good now when they play poorly, they don't lose to bad teams, even when they play poorly. And last night, it took a last-minute scramble, the last kick of the game for them to lose. That could have gone the other way. Yes, there were 2 clear chances for Villa, but again, it's not a domination if you can't beat me handily. You beat me 2-1. Now we can have the conversation that can you keep going on the road and not winning and win the league? That's a terrific conversation to have.
Yeah.
But the reality is this team is so good that you cannot batter them.
Yeah.
Whether you're Newcastle, Sunderland, or now who are we talking about? Or Villa. You can't. So if Villa they've won 9 of 10. They're at home. They have overloaded the midfield. They have a great goalkeeper. And they scored a great first goal. They still conceded to Arsenal and needed a last minute, not wonder strike, but very decent strike to win. So for me, ignore the social media. The sky is not falling. It is what it is.
Yeah, so it is what it is. So good segue into Arsenal. So we can talk about Arsenal now. So midweek, they beat Brentford 2-0. Remember what I said, right? Midweek. I said that if I'm Arteta, was it the midweek game I said he should rotate his squad? I think that's what I said.
The Brentford game.
The Brentford game. That's a good game for Norgard to play in. I was shocked when Norgard didn't play. Right? I told you.
He didn't start. I thought he came on.
I don't think he played at all.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't think he played at all. Right? I told you I would have benched Timber, Merino. Right? I listed out the people that I would have benched. But unfortunately, in that game, Mosquera, and this is how I tell you, you don't know what the footballing gods will throw at you. Mosquera had a non-contact injury, and I heard he's out for 2 months. Right?
Up to 2 months.
Up to 2 months. Up to 2 months. Yeah. And I agree with you. It might not be 2 months because Arteta keeps playing. He keeps playing with all these, when players are coming back and stuff like that. Anyway. But Arsenal won that game. They were tired. The games before the Chelsea game, it was obvious the squad needed a breather. They needed a game where they will just coast. But unfortunately, Brentford at home, you can't really coast against any team in the Premier League. Yeah,
Wolves coming up. And
Wolves coming on.
There's no coasting.
There's no coasting. Because ideally, the team that is not going to play Wolves is the team that you would have coasted with. Because now you have almost half of your team. You have almost half of your team on the bench, right? Yeah. So after that game, and I saw Rice played another 90 minutes, and he literally had to be forced off the game at the 90th minute because he had a calf issue. I was like, this guy needs a rest. Yeah. So when I saw that the team so Timber needs a rest. White is just coming back. He's not ready to play full 90 minutes. Calafiori is carrying a knock, and it was obvious in that back line. People were... You talked about the game. The game was a tough watch for both sides, not just for Arsenal, for both sides. Yeah. It was a tough watch. Yeah. Saka didn't finish the game because he's also not 100% fit. What was his name?
He had one of his worst games. Now he still came up with a moment of magic. Yeah, it was one of his worst games I've seen as a professional. He was not good. I thought Odegaard was really good. For those who were debating whether Eze should have started ahead of him centrally, Odegaard, for someone who is still coming up to his best, probably man of the match for me. I thought it was really good. It was Eze just laid an egg on the left side. Yeah,
he did. And I'll tell you why. Yeah. And I'll tell you why. It's very, very simple, right? At times, you need to know and I'll blame Arteta slightly, and I say slightly. I personally wouldn't have started Eze in that game. I would have started Martinelli because I know the kind of defender Matthew Cash is. Cash is a physical, and he overlaps a lot. He does. And I know
he had scored 2 goals before that game. Now he has 3.
God bless you.
Eze
defensively is not at the same level as Martinelli. So personally, I would have started Martinelli in the sense that, you know what, Martinelli, it's a personal battle between you and Cash, right? But for Cash against Eze, nah. Eze is not really a winger that has pace. Eze is a winger that wants to use his guile.
He has guile, yeah.
So for me, I think Arteta hopefully has learned his lesson. I think if you are at home and you're playing a team that's not as good as we are, then this is an avenue for you to rest Rice and play Eze alongside Odegaard in midfield. Yeah. That is his best position. Eze out on the wings is if the right back if you have a defensive right back. So let's say, for example, you're playing. Okay, who's the perfect example I can use? When you're playing some teams that their right back does not overlap, he's not attacking. Yeah. You can't play Eze against a Munoz at Crystal Palace, for example, against Matthew Cash, for example, or let's say it was against Arsenal, you put him against Timber or against what's his name, Ben White. He's gonna suffer because defensively he will be found wanting at one point in time. Pace and grit is not really his thing. Yeah. But that game altogether, this is why, and this was what led to the question that I kind of posed, right? That right now, I told you that this is what the injuries to Arsenal will do to your team.
You did,
right?
You did.
I did, and I said I was worried about the timing is before the Christmas period, which is it is too much. Right now, I think I'm advocating. You've convinced me. You've convinced me completely. You can't. These games are too much at this point.
Yeah,
they're too much.
Yeah,
they're too much.
But
so it is either you extend the season, right? There's no point. The season ends in May. I know there is a calendar. Blah 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 blah. Or you go on break like every other person. Every other person is going on break. Do they have 2 heads? Go on break.
Oh,
anyway, so are you not worried about the Arsenal injuries? Question to you.
I wish I was. I'm really not, Yinka. And I'm not trying to be stubborn, right? But I'm really not. So, okay, the tiredness thing is a very interesting angle. But I feel like we've played the same number of games as every other EPL team in Europe, right?
Yeah.
We have, right? So for me, it's like, do we run too much? All of that stuff. It's just for me, it's not interesting to me to have that conversation, right? I think football is a game of very, very tiny margins. We lost through a wonder goal to one of the best midfielders in the league and a goal mouth scramble where Nkapie made the original mistake, letting the ball roll past him to throw in. Yeah, he needs to just connect his brain back to his body and stuff.
But I don't. Time out. Quick one. I'll go back to you. A lot of people blaming Nkapie. For me, was actually Arsenal's man of the match. Right? Forget that last.
Really well.
He played really well. And frankly, right? The only way where I miss Gabriel and Saliba is set pieces offensively.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And maybe a bit of set piece defensively too. The Chelsea first goal. Yeah. But that is not as big and it's not as, the strength is not there. But Nkapie has been very, 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 very good. I don't blame him at all. Yeah. At all. Even for the goal, I don't blame him. But go ahead.
He's supposed to be our 3rd, maybe 4th center back.
Yeah.
So for your 3rd, 4th center back is doing okay.
He's doing fine.
Now,
he's doing fine.
Arteta's decision to move Timber from right back to center back and start Ben White at right back is interesting because I think as a coach, what you want to do is make the fewest number of changes possible, right, to your team. So Calafiori stayed. Nkapie stayed. Mosquera needs to be changed. What you could have done is Mosquera gone, put Ben White at center back. You've made only one change.
Time out. I would let me just quickly respond to that. Ben White has not played centre back in like 3 years.
I know. Well, he did play. There was a cup game where he played centre back. But I hear you.
But guess who plays centre back every time they go on international break?
I know. Anne has played for Anne has played for Arsenal as well.
Yeah. I know. So all the Dutch international breaks, he plays the right side. He plays the Konate for Van Dijk for the Netherlands team, right? So
I know. But anyway. there's value in not making too many changes. That back line was not moving in unison, Yinka. It was not moving in. That was our weakest point. And I don't want to say the centre backs is really the back line. They were not moving on their goal. Calafiori was all over the place. People will blame Eze, but why are you inverted on defense, Yinka? Why are you in the centre back position as a left back on defense?
Because he was tracking his man. He was tracking McGinn. Cash is Eze's guy. Calafiori was tracking McGinn. McGinn came into the box, so Calafiori followed him. So see that goal, right? And I hear what you're saying, and I agree with you that maybe a bit of and this is probably because they've not been playing together too well. So in terms of organizing and stuff, I get that. But on that particular goal, it's 100% on Eze.
Eze messed up. He knew it. I think Calafiori
knew it immediately.
I think Calafiori could have said something, could have called out, whatever it is, right? But again, are they used to too many changes? But
fair point.
But I think we can leave that game alone. I'm not worried. I think so. Arsenal has soon to come back. I know nobody talks about him anymore, but Gabriel Jesus. We saw his mini comeback last season. He scored 5 goals in 2 games out of nowhere. No one, because we didn't win the league, no one even talks about it. Yeah. Right? So they have Gabriel Jesus soon to come. You have Kai Havertz soon to come. Right?
No, Kai Havertz is not coming back until next year.
They said so. There's a new investigative reporting thing that came out. I forget the name of the guy saying possibly around Christmas or before whatever it is before Christmas, and that he's going to be the first choice center. Yeah. That's what the guy is reporting. But either way, he's coming back. Yeah. Right. So you can't say you have all this depth and then you start crying and say you're worried about injuries. Everyone gets injuries all the time. Go on.
So, time out. Yeah. So, I hear you. And remember what I said about Rudiger earlier on, right?
Yeah.
When you come back from injury, you don't get 100%. You don't get to 100% instantly. It's unusual, right? And if you're not careful, you get back onto that sick bed or whatever, sick bay as soon as you're getting back to the treatment table almost ASAP. Yeah. But here's my concern. Yeah.
Yeah.
Too much games on a specific set of players is also not good enough, right?
I agree.
Maresca is being killed by Chelsea fans because he knows, right? And I'm kind of slightly worried about Arteta in the sense that I think he's stubborn. You won't be shocked.
We know he's stubborn.
Okay, so let me say this. If Rice gets on the plane to Belgium, then I'm going to...
He will. Look, but let me tell you what will happen. He won't start, but they'll bring him in to get 25 minutes. I can put money on this.
He doesn't need 25 minutes at this point.
You don't know Arteta.
No. So I think we're saying the same thing in a different way, just looking at it from two perspectives. Right? Yeah. I have a funny feeling that's what he would do. I think that's what he would do. But he shouldn't do that. At this point, you have the Club Brugge, away game to Club Brugge, bang in the middle of this tight fixture is a game where I'll just go to the under-18s and I'll call Dauman, the 2 Ecuadorian boys that we just bought, and say, all of you, hop on the plane.
And
I would tell this same team that just played Villa, right? I'll tell them, guys, just take the week off. I'll see you when I get back on Thursday. That's what he should do.
It's never going to happen.
That's what he should do. But I know but that's not what he's going to do.
Is never going to do that. So
anyway,
you've seen this story before. You've seen this story. Let me remind you.
Yes.
For 5 years now, we've talked about no backup for Saka.
Yes.
Saka was never on the bench when he was eligible to play. He played every minute of every game. And in games that he really did not need to play, he got brought on to get 20 minutes.
But I think he
needs 20 minutes.
He has learned a bit on Saka. So Saka didn't Saka didn't start Brentford. And Saka did not end Villa. Right?
Yeah, it's a lot better.
You have to. The game against Bruges in Belgium, the following people should not even be on the plane. Mikel Merino should not be on the plane. Rice should not be on this plane. Saka should not be on the plane. Timber should not be on the plane. Ben White should not be on the plane. I'm not kidding. Go get the kids. Let the kids go play Bruges. If they lose, fine. You are still top of the UCL table.
Yinka, my comparison was Saka didn't have a backup then. Rice doesn't have a backup now. That's the difference. So clearly, Arteta does not trust the people behind the Norgarts that you're talking about. Arteta doesn't trust them.
Markin, that's not a problem. I don't trust them also. But you're playing Club Bruges in an away game in the Champions League, bang in the middle of this winter break, that you really don't, you can afford to actually lose the game. Then lose the game. Let Max Daumann captain the team.
No, stop it. Winning begets winning. Arteta is a winner. Is never going to do it, bro.
Let's move on. I rest my case. I'm tired.
All right.
I rest my case.
Quick time check. We're over an hour, so
we just make it fast.
Yeah. Week ahead. 2 important games. Madrid at home to City in the Champions League. Inter at home to Liverpool in the Champions League.
Yep.
That Madrid City thing has happened a few times now. One team is in very good form. One team, as we talked about,
City are smashing Madrid.
I think they will have. I think Madrid will have no answer for Holland, and I think that will be hilarious.
That's it. I think you hit the nail on the head. That's it.
Yeah, Liverpool. It's like someone is just doing this to them on purpose. Now they got to go to the San Siro. They couldn't get Club Brugge. What is happening? Now they got to go to the San Siro and play Inter. Now is not the time. But I actually predict that VS will have a really good game. I think
he's been their best player over the past 2 or 3 games.
Yeah, is playing well. But I think he will be, if not the man of the match, very close in this matchup. And once Isak starts scoring, he doesn't have to score five goals a game. He just needs to score every other game. If he scores every other game and Wirtz does what we know he can do, the Gakpos and the rest will mop up and finish up. I think they will be fine. Okay. I think they'll be fine.
That's fine. Well said.
All right. Yinka, let's do our wordy mention real quick. Do you have any quick thoughts on the World Cup draws that happened in my city, Washington City? One, I was going to bring a medal that my son won for touching the ball maybe 5 times in the entire season during his last soccer season. Since we're giving everybody a medal, I was going to bring it on and actually put it on my own neck since a certain somebody decided to do that. But I'm like, on this somber day where we're remembering one of our friends, let me not make a mockery of things.
Yeah.
I don't care about this World Cup. I'm not going to go to any games, which is heartbreaking to me. I will watch it, but I'm not going to go to any games. I don't love expanding to 48 teams. I really don't. I don't think it was necessary. Pretty much, Inca, a real tournament, third place teams have no business going to the next round, whatever you call the next round. So if you have a tournament where you can be third out of 4 teams and you still advance, I think you're watering down your own tournament. But we know this is a bastion of corruption, and I hate that I'm a fan of this stuff. Over to you.
I think it's a World Cup, so let it be. Let it be. Let's have more teams. But I'm just joking. I totally agree with you. There are teams like Uzbekistan here. There's Panama here. There's Curacao. I've not even. Is that even how it's pronounced?
Curacao. The C has an accent at the bottom.
That's how I thought it was. Curacao.
Curacao.
Is that a country?
Curacao. Yeah.
In which where?
If I may, real quick. So
Yes,
Curacao is I'll say Caribbean / South. Well, it's like the tip of South America, Caribbean. So a lot of you know where Suriname is.
Yes.
Right. So it's one of the Dutch possessions. Right?
Yes.
So Suriname, Curacao, bunch of Dutch players. So what they did, which is what we said Nigeria should do, is they got a bunch of kids in the Netherlands from, the usual suspect academies, and they worked really, really, really hard, and put a team together and, went to CONCACAF and did what they had to do.
And did what they had to do.
Yeah, that's it. So
that's it.
Same Haiti, the République de Haïti is going to the World Cup. It's
Haiti's
quite amazing.
Qatar is here, right?
It's amazing.
But it's just the only people I kind of pity in this whole draw is Ghana. After all the noise that my neighbors made, then the same group with England and Croatia. And I'm like, okay, good luck.
Croatia is not what they used to be, but unfortunately, neither is Ghana.
Okay, Croatia in any tournament is what they used to be.
Yeah,
Croatia might have the roughest of qualifiers. It's like once they enter that tournament, it's like something just turns up a dial in them, and they are dangerous. They are always.
Do you
dangerous.
really want to watch 39-year-old Modric versus 54-year-old Thomas Partey?
No,
I don't.
I don't. So the more I look at this, I'm not excited for this World Cup also.
No,
and frankly, the fact that it's in the US is just making matters worse. Yeah.
Hey, calm down, sir. Calm down.
Yes,
take that
I'll say it. Right. I need to go check the group that is in Canada or the games that will happen in Canada. So maybe I don't know if I might see the games in Canada, but in general, I'm not. Yeah, and the quarterfinal games or the second round games and the quarterfinal games, and none of them are happening in Mexico or Canada. I understand all of those games.
Okay, so
and the US
for our viewers who don't follow these things, let me tell you why 3 teams are hosting this World Cup, and then we can wrap.
Yes.
The US really, really, really wanted this, right? They had a lot of stiff competition from other confederations and countries, right? They had no idea what Mexico and Canada were going to do when it came time to vote. They needed the vote of Mexico and Canada, but more importantly than that, they needed CONCACAF to vote as a bloc.
Yes.
So they told Mexico and Canada, we get this thing, we throw you guys a few games in the groups, right? We all say we're co-hosting. Those few games will mean you don't have to play a qualifier, right? And then what that means, it opens up spots for the Curacao
for the other people.
And so it makes things easier for Jamaica, which they haven't made it yet, Costa Rica's and all of that. And that was the bargain they made with the devil. Yeah. So Canada and Mexico are an afterthought when it comes to hosting. Yeah. So that's how we went down.
Well said, Aki. But now, the devil that they made the deal with, there's a problem internally. Because now, you can see that FIFA have all of a sudden gone on an ego massaging trip for your president. Yeah? Because all of a sudden, if you are going to host the World Cup, you need to open up your borders.
Yeah.
Right? So what's going to happen? Are you going to open up the borders for people like you and I? And like people like myself, rather, then I come in and after every match, there's ice at the stadium waiting for me after every game. Is that what's going to happen?
Yinka,
I'm interested in the ticket. I'm interested in the ticket sales.
When you get arrested, you get one phone call. I can be your phone call. Don't worry.
Before I go, before I go, I'm interested in the ticket sales because right now I don't think the tickets are flying off as they used to. The next round is coming soon. You will see the lengthy. Because what's going to happen at the end of the day is FIFA will probably go to their sponsors and say, "Off, take these tickets from me," right? Do you understand? Then those guys will not be saying, "Oh, would you guys want to come?" They'll just be dishing out the tickets. The sales are not going at the rate at which they want.
We'll see. Okay.
Anyway.
All right. Please rap for us, Yinka, and then we can...
Yeah.
We can wait, we don't have a donkey of the week, right?
Everybody's been well behaved. No refs this time around.
Yeah.
Everybody's well behaved, which is very, very unusual. Very, very unusual.
I know.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks a lot, people. Apologies, we went overboard by like 10 minutes, but it's all good. Thank you for the support. We're on the journey to the next 1,000 on YouTube subscribers, or YouTube subscription rather. So please, we need you to do the needful. Tell your friends about us, engage us, ask questions. We've not gotten questions in a while, but it'll be interesting if, I think we need to bring that back. So please guys, if you have questions, send it to us, and we'll address them. Whenever we pop up across any of these social media platforms, please like, subscribe, engage. Don't say these boys are comfortable. They are just doing this as side hustle. Yeah. Even if even if it's side, it's still a hustle. Yeah. If you get what I mean.
Oh my goodness.
Even if it is side, it is still a hustle. But anyway, thanks guys. Really appreciate it. Akin.
So Yinka, if you haven't done it yet, look at your YouTube and check out your 2025 recap that YouTube's AI does for you, right?
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes. So apparently, my top 5 interests on YouTube are number 1, football match reactions. Number 2, NBA game highlights. I'm just following my commissioner. The commissioner said the NBA is a highlight league, so I'm just following my commissioner. You leave me alone there, okay? 3 is comedy stand-up shows.
I see.
4 is current event discussions. And 5 is music industry news. So apparently this is my life. I watched 710 channels this year, right? And my top one was ESPN FC, and then Charles Watts, AFTV, and then PSP, our podcast, and then the Breakfast Club, right? But this is the one you didn't see coming. For ESPN FC, I was in the top 0.1% of viewers.
That means you love them a lot. That's what it means.
But so finally, so in the music one, this one surprised me. My top 5 artists. Guess who was top of? You're never gonna guess this. So guess who was top of the list for me?
Hip hop?
No.
Did you say hip hop or just music?
No,
music in general.
Music. Yeah, music.
Kwamwon?
No, it did not place. It was Zainab Habib, the woman from Benin Republic. And
I
it's
see.
because of this 2 songs that I really like. So apparently I played those songs a lot on YouTube. so one of the songs was my number 2 song for the year, but she was my number 1 artist because I played her so much, right? Ashake was number 2. This cat, BC Manuel, only because I like one of his songs. He was number 3. I must have played that song, a million times. And then Adekunle Gold and Q Dots. Those are my top 5. So I thought that was a little fun thing that I discovered over the weekend. I thought I would share it.
I'll do mine. I'll do mine next week.
You should.
I'll do mine next week. I'm just, I didn't even know this existed. I'm just seeing it now.
Yeah, I saw it. I'm like, this is pretty cool.
Mine is showing different sides of me that you people don't know about.
That you didn't know, right? It's crazy. Yeah.
Anyway, I'll do mine next week. All
right. Thank you, Kai. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate the support. We will be back next week. It may be Monday, but we will be back. Until then, thank you and goodbye.
Bye, people.